Ladies and gentlemen, tonight you're in for a spicy treat. Performing for the first time on American television, Making Movies.
Come here, babe, my little American dream, and sing something sweet to me. Yes, sing something sweet.
My name is Enrique Chi. I'm the lead singer of a band called Making Movies. We formed in Kansas City, but we formed with immigrant roots. My brother and I, my brother plays bass in the group, we were born in Panama, and Juan Carlos Chauran, his family's from Mexico. And so our journey began. We got to play all over the Americas, and we've learned so much, but we kept hitting this interesting wall, this stumbling block. Folks would tell us, what you all do is not American music, or at least it doesn't fit our American music radio station or festival, etc. So we began to ask ourselves, well then, what is American music? So we went on this journey to try to answer that question, or at least ask it to folks who might know a little more about it than us. Over the course of the next hour, you're gonna watch the first episode of a living documentary. This is a work that's gonna continue to grow and expand. You're gonna hear amazing music and great conversations with legendary musicians like Steve Berlin of Los Lobos and blues guitar player Cedric Burnside. I think it'll leave you asking the question yourself, well, what is American music to you? And I'm so pumped for you to come along this journey with us. The first episode of Americana TV.
Are you ready? Beaming to you from the station between the stations. You are watching Americana Television.
What is American music, and what does it mean to me? Well, American music, let's start with a definition. What is American music? American music is music that comes from all over the place. It's the immigrant experience. It's all of these things that other cultures brought to this country to create American music. Whether it comes from the rhythms from Africa to the banjo, which actually has roots in Africa too, and all the different cultures, just like my culture, the Mexicano culture. All that comes from somewhere else. And that's what makes American music. When I think of our band, being a Chicano band, Mexican-American band, I think, it's a pretty good definition of what American music is.
All right.
Baby, I'm gonna love till I die. I told my baby, I'm gonna love till I die. When I first saw her, she really caught my eye. She really caught my eye. And I said I wanna love her, 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 love her till I die. I wanna love till I die. When she got up this morning, I had breakfast on the table. When she got up this morning, I had breakfast on the table. I said I wanna take care of her. Take care of her, take care of her till I ain't able. Take care of her till I ain't able. And I said I wanna love her, 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 love her till I die. I wanna love till I die. I said I wanna love her, 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 love her till I die. I wanna love her till I die. I wanna love her till I die. I wanna love her till I die. Till I die. I wanna love 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 till I die. Hey, get funky. Woo! Hey. I wanna love till I die. 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 And I said I wanna love her, 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 love her till I die. Man, it felt so good. I got a little carried away at the end, man. That's funky. That's funky. I dig
was
that.
good. I liked it too. I was feeling it.
Oh yeah.
I was feeling it. That's what's so amazing about music is that we just met, but you can jump into something really intimate.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
What do you think that is?
Well,
Why is that?
It's something from the universe. You know what I'm saying? It's an energy that, you know, just it comes up every once in a while. Just what we just did right here. You guys never played with me before, but we was jamming and we was dancing and we was hooping and hollering, and because that energy right there it just came. You know?
Yeah.
I can't really tell you what it is. I just know it's something beautiful, man.
You're a part of a really amazing story.
Yeah.
How did from your best knowledge, how did that develop? How did these forms develop?
Well, I have to say, you know, everybody would probably say the same thing. You know, back in slavery times, you know, when the slaves came over around about 1619.
Right.
And so blues kind of started then, you know, I would say, and just, you know, being in the fields, that's something I don't know nothing about, you know, but just being in the fields, during hard times, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And they just, you know, grooves just came to them because that's all they could do. You know, they couldn't leave the fields. So they sang songs that was groovy. You know, they stomped their feet, they pat their hand, you know, that was groovy, you know. So it kind of started there. But I can tell you a story. My big daddy, me growing up as a kid, he always played music even before I was born. And, you know, I was one of many grandkids just sitting there in amazement watching, you know, him and my dad and my uncles play. And they didn't make any money. You know, their money was, you know, a bottle of moonshine, you know, and maybe $2 and a hamburger, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what they money, you know, and my big daddy was a sharecropper growing up. And that's something I can remember, you know, very well. You know, 5, 6 years old, he would get up, you know, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning and jump on the tractor and he would go and work the fields until, late, 8, 9 o'clock. But he did that just for food and shelter. I started playing in the juke joints when I was about 10 years old, believe it or not. Me and my uncle, Gary Burnside, he was about 12 and I was about 10. And we started playing in the juke joints because, the band members wouldn't show up, and we was kind of trained at the house parties that my big dad and them used to throw to, play the music. And so we started playing at the juke joints.
What is it, do you think, about this music that resonated with people? What is it that makes them latch on to it?
I will have to say it's the unorthodox rhythm, but it was a while before people started to get the hang of hill country blues. It was like the late 90s, early 2000s when people started to grasp the hill country blues. And when they started to grasp it, it was hypnotic to them. People would say, man, this music is so hypnotic. It puts you in a trance, and I have to say, for a long time, I didn't even know what the hell they was talking about,
Because it was natural to you.
It was just something that I did and what I loved, and I didn't really see how it made people feel until I got of age. I was in my early 20s, maybe 21, 22 years old, when this woman come up to me and she was crying. She came up to me and she hugged me. She was crying and she was like, "Wow, your music changed my life," and I was blown away. I didn't have any words, but it was then when I kind of realized how special, the music was.
Los Lobos, you've always interacted with artists that are from so many different kinds of genres, even being signed to a label that was a punk rock label. What is it about music that allows you to not be so stuck into any one of those lanes?
Well, that was sort of like from the beginning. When I first met the guys, people say, well, what are you, what kind of band are you? Like, we're an American rock band, but we have all these obvious influences. Like, we never think about categories, like, never, ever think about categorizing ourselves. Like, what to call us. Like, what do you call you guys? Like, what is it? Like, it's music.
Louisiana, New Orleans, and the Port played a huge part in this story and what we are going to continue to talk about throughout the show. We got to sit down and talk with Grammy Award-winning artist and the keeper of Zydeco music, Terrence Simeon, and his daughter, Marcela. Be ready for this because you're about to get some sopa and some gumbo all mixed together. And if you don't know what that means, you're about to find out right now.
It's an honor for me to be here, Enrique. Thank you for including me in this conversation because, like I said, it's a conversation that's been going on for me for almost 40 years. Everything's influenced by so many things, you know what I'm saying? I always tell people my DNA is jambalaya DNA. My family's been in Louisiana since the 1700s, since 1756.
Wow. That's amazing.
And, my ancestors are from all over the world. I'm part French, African, Spanish, Native American, and German. So when I say jambalaya DNA, I mean jambalaya DNA. But all these cultures coming together organically as families is what created the culture that people know New Orleans for, and South Louisiana. I mean, whether it's the jazz music, whether it's the Mardi Gras Indian music, whether it's the second line, Zydeco music, that's all created by ideas from all over the world.
I'm from Panama, but my grandfather went to college at Tulane. My Chinese great-grandfather immigrated to Panama. Wow. And somewhere in that process, he met a woman from Alabama.
Yeah.
So when I look at my DNA, I have British, but I also have African from Panama,
Yeah.
Native American, and I have Spanish from Panama, the Spaniard influence. And then Juan Carlos, my bandmate, is from Mexico.
Same thing, but on my dad's side, we're French. And so I have a French last name, Charron. But yeah, grew up in Mexico, but his dad was full French, blue eyes, light skin, and I look more European than I do Mexican.
Yeah.
And so yeah.
Jambalaya DNA too, I guess. You know, but it was different kind of jambalaya. Sancocho.
Yeah. Or sopita fideo.
Fideo.
There you go. There you go. That's the thing about our music too, you know, that people don't understand, that it has to evolve to stay alive.
Were you aware that this was fading, and if you didn't do it, maybe something would change?
You know, I wasn't. Believe it or not, I fell in love with the music just for what it was. Then I fell in love with being proud of the heritage and the history.
That vibe that you said that you fell in love with?
Yeah.
Where do you think that comes from?
Oh, it's a lot of places, man. I guess it's my DNA was bubbling, you know, hearing stuff that connected with, you know, part of my brain that I didn't know was in there, you know, because the music and those melodies go back, man. They go back centuries, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's more African. This style of music, Zydeco, is more African than it is anything. There's some European influences, but this is an African style of music. The earliest form was called the jure. And the jure was just using your voice, clapping your hands, and stomping your feet. Before we had instruments, we used to have gatherings like that.
Yeah, look at a DNA test and you go, actually, that does make some sense. It is in there.
What I saw Dad do was he took where he came from, respected his roots, and then evolved with what you were into growing up.
It's supposed to be like a river, like that has to replenish itself, or it can make you sick. If a river gets stagnant, you drink the water, you're gonna get sick. And I think that people don't like the medicinal quality of music. If it gets stagnant, I think it goes the other direction.
Man, that's awesome the way you put that, man.
Well, on that, let's go play some music. Maybe we'll take the conversation out of words and into music.
Right on. I think that's a good idea. 3, 2, 1. Va voir qui il est. C'est temps pour moi d'aller. Va voir qui il est. C'est temps pour moi danser. Et où c'est mon soulier. Va voir qui il est. Va voir qui il est. Oh! C'est temps pour moi d'aller, va voir qui il est. C'est temps pour moi danser, et où c'est mon soulier. Va voir qui il est, va voir qui il est. Oh! That's the vibe.
We're all Americans. We're all immigrants. We all come from somewhere else. And I believe Latino, you know, Latin Americans, Black Americans, Asian Americans, we all contribute to what becomes American music or culture.
I'm so excited for you all to hear this next performance. Every time I watch it, it gives me chills. There's something so magical when a family makes music together. Next up, we have Deborah Barnes, accompanied by her 3 sons. Deborah had the privilege of singing alongside Ray Charles as a Raylette early in her career. But she lived through the social justice movement. She sang at the marches that Martin Luther King spoke at. She saw this all firsthand. And I think that that's a profound thing. So as you're trying to learn where American music comes from, where rock and roll comes from, you gotta introduce gospel music. And I think there's few folks better to do it than the Barnes family.
Growing up, I was about 12 when Martin Luther King was assassinated, and we would all go to rallies and hear the speeches and everything before that happened, and it was just, you know, a really fun time because we sang a lot.
How did that form the way you looked at the world, realizing that, like, singing is a part of protesting? It's like it was in stride with it.
Well, it helped me to want to learn more about what was going on during that time. And so, you know, I wanted to learn about who I was and why I was and everything.
At what point did you realize that this was going to be a career move for you, that you were going to be able to sing? Did you have that in your head at 12, or was it kind of just unfolding before you?
I think I was working on it, and then I started, you know, high school after that. And I was called on to sing with Ray Charles as a Raylette when I was 20.
How do you feel we must carry these traditions? What should we be doing to not lose
I think we should
this?
really expose children and teenagers to the older music, you know, from the spirituals, and come on up so that they have a wide variety and so that they can mix and, like they do anyway, you know, mix and match to what is inside of them, because all of it has a place.
Come here, babe, my little American dream, and sing something sweet to me. Yeah, sing something sweet. La da da da. Oh wait, you only lived on movie screens. You were my own little queen, but they killed you in the final scene. I've been lied to time and time again. Yeah, I'm tired of giving in. So tired, so tired. And would you let me begin? So tired, just so tired. I sold my soul to a well-oiled machine. I guess I like making pretty things. I guess I like making pretty things. From what I've seen, is there no one clean? We all ate from the forbidden tree. Was sweet, wouldn't you agree? Now I'm used up like an old syringe. Pull it out, I'm tired of giving in. So tired, so tired. Look at the state I'm in. So tired, just so tired. Let me out. Sold my soul down in New Orleans. I guess I just ran out of steam. The lights are out and the lines are dead. We're waiting as the flood recedes. I don't even know what I need. Would we know if it's the end? I've been lied to time and time again. I'm tired. Yes, I'm tired of giving in. So tired, so tired. How do I get to the end? So tired, so tired. Why am I here again? So tired, so tired. So tired of giving in.
How did you all step into that space or discover that you could live in those two worlds?
We were always blending stuff early on. I mean, it was just sort of built into our DNA that we would, combine different ideas. But it was always somewhat parochial. Like the approach was sort of like, oh, we're going to do a country, like we would say, like, oh, that's Let's Say Goodnight was sort of like our version of a Zydeco song. So like, it was spoken, we would interpret it, but it was like the primary influence was clear and obvious. And it was that song was the first time where I think everybody in the band sort of went, oh, we can mix this stuff and we could really combine that. And that was like kind of that was like unofficially the first song of Kiko, because Kiko was all about, mixing and blending, we kind of went like hard into the idea of mixing, really trying to employ Latin rhythms in non-Latin songs and vice versa, like trying to figure out if there was like some weird alchemical brew.
This next conversation is between Enrique and Boo Mitchell. And if you haven't heard of Boo Mitchell or of Royal Studios, well, you've definitely heard the sounds that have come out of that magical place.
All right, Boo, what a pleasure to re-meet you and be here at this magical place.
Man, thank you, sir.
Yeah, man, I'm excited. I mean, I know a lot of work has been done to document the history of this place, and the reason why we're stealing a little bit of your time and want to talk about this is because I feel like in this moment, there's an opportunity to connect the stories of American history and American musical history and tell it in a way that young people can reconnect with it. And I feel that they need to know where this music comes from.
Yes.
Because they're going to be telling the stories. And then also, we can't ignore what is happening in the world today. So, I want to go back to your childhood just for a little bit, right? Your father is working here and he's working with legendary artists, but you're a kid. You don't know that.
Right.
Not exactly.
But even as a kid, before I knew anything about music, I could always felt like this magic, like this was a magical place.
Did you pick up instruments during this process?
Yeah, I started playing piano. I was like, man, I want to play some Ray Charles,
Right.
So, once I started playing, it just, everything, was amplified. By the time I was 9, I was, just trying to get to the studio every day. Summers I spent here, weekends, I was trying to be as much as possible.
You grew up here.
Yeah.
You grew up living and breathing this, man. That's amazing. And you were telling me a story that your dad, he wasn't allowed to touch the board because he was a black man.
Right.
And that one of the studio owners or something wouldn't allow him to do this. Is that right?
Yeah. So it was the engineer here at the time was a guy named Ray Harris. And like the studio was basically started when Elvis and Johnny Cash left Sam Phillips. There was some other, engineer, producer guys over there, and they, saw it as an opportunity to do their own thing. So Royal was basically the second commercial recording studio in Memphis. And the engineer, Ray Harris, he was, a verified Klansman. And and told my dad would complain. He was like, man, you can't tell the difference between a Willie Mitchell record, a Bill Black record, a Stax record. Like, he was like, man, I want my to sound different. So I think in '64, my dad has a meeting with the president and the owner of Royal Studios and High Records, who was an Italian gentleman. He was like, Joe, if I don't engineer my own stuff, I'm not re-signing. And Joe was like, okay, Willie, do it. And like the first record my dad engineered, like shot up the charts. It's a Willie Mitchell instrumental called 2075.
How did he, what education did he get to do this? How did he put it together?
He God, there was definitely nowhere to get formal training. I'll tell you this. This is what I think his education was. By '68, my dad was like selling more records than all the other artists on the label, and he bought out the engineer the guy that told him he couldn't do it.
The Klansman.
The Klansman.
Wow.
And when the guy was getting his stuff to leave, my dad goes, "I learned a lot from you, Ray." And Ray goes, "What's that, Hoss?" My dad goes, "Never cut a record like you cut it." So
you made like the school of what not to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Man, that's heavy. It harkens back to like, in my mind, and I think there's a naivety to this. And I spoke with this with the Barnes family. Like, because of your father's legacy, Al Green's legacy, Ray Charles, all these folks. Like, I imagined this universe where like segregation happened, and even though I look at the timeline and it makes sense that like it was crazy and really messed up, as these artists are connecting to millions of people, that I figured that somehow they were immune from it, but they were not immune.
They were not immune, but there was, God, that's why Memphis has this strange racial irony, because like in the music community, like nobody gave if you were black, white, woman, man, like nobody cared. The musicians all interacted with each other.
Wow.
But when they step outside the studio, the reality kicks in that, the rest of the world, because there's just like Booker T and the MGs, like people didn't know, you had 2 black dudes and 2 white dudes. They didn't know if it was a black group with some white dudes in it or if it was a white group with some black dudes. They didn't know what it was. That was just
like that worked in the favor, because you could buy a record and listen to it and you kind of could ignore like a person who had maybe some racist ideology could ignore their belief system for a split second.
Oh, exactly.
And just enjoy the music.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is.
How do you appreciate, like, if you're appreciating someone's musicality and like the language, it's a language, and the language that they speak, and you're cherishing it, how can you then not appreciate them as a human being?
Exactly.
It's an incredible joy to get to work with musicians who have such a depth of knowledge and such a rich character. Reverend Hodges, who you'll see up next, he is a man who you may have not heard his name, but you have definitely heard him play the organ. If you've ever heard an Al Green classic, you've heard Do Funny, as he's nicknamed, playing the organ, making those special moments and that magic come to life. Reverend, we're so pumped to be here in the room with you. What an honor.
And it's my honor that you all invited me to come to be a part of this.
We can't start without mentioning that you had no idea we're from Kansas City.
No idea whatsoever.
But you're wearing Chiefs hat, Chiefs pants. You have your red and white and black Nikes with your Mahomes jersey. It's kind of beautiful and perfect.
Well, thank you. But the Chiefs are one of my favorite teams, if not my favorite.
There's so much that we can talk about. You had the amazing blessing of working on music that the whole world heard.
Yeah, I did.
Did you have a sense that was what was about to happen?
No, I really didn't.
What did it feel like when you all were just cooking up those song ideas and those arrangements?
For one, the organ has been in this very spot through all of the recordings that has been, done here at High. I recorded 26 gold and platinums on this album in a row. And then I went over to Stax and did I don't know how many. But the thing is, when we would come in here, it was like magic. For one, you had my 2 other brothers, my siblings. Leroy was on bass. Teeny was on lead guitar. I was on organ. And Archie Turner was on keyboards. Howard Grimes on drums. And we just had a love for each other. It's really kind of hard to put into words because music, it's a feel. I didn't go to school for it. This is a talent a gift that God gave me. I wouldn't know one note from another. You know, would you throw a book up in front of me and say, no, I can't do that. I can read a chord sheet. But believe it or not, over 99% of the songs that I recorded, I didn't look at a chart. We would learn the song, and after I learned it,
Just feel it.
would feel it. But my main thing was I wanted to know the story. And it's really ironic because Willie Mitchell, I got with Willie Mitchell later on, and my style of playing wasn't his style. But he liked it the way I played, and he gave me a nickname, Do Funny.
Where did that come from?
The way I play the organ, I do little old funny stuff on it.
Do it funny.
Yeah, yeah. So one day we had a rehearsal at Willie's house, and Willie said, "Hey guys," said Charles, the way he play, say we may need to just change the way we play.
And what was so different about your playing that he wanted or that he heard?
It was the way, for instance, if I did do Love and Happiness. I just never stood, I wouldn't stay still. You know, that was the type stuff that he wanted to hear. You know, and then I said, okay.
What is American music to you?
Something that's very, very hard to describe, but easy to perceive. You can't exactly draw a frame around it and say, okay, well, everything inside this frame is American music and everything outside the frame isn't. It's not. There is no frame. You can't frame it. You can't say it's this or that with any truthfulness because it's, number one, it's because it's constantly changing. But at the same time, you can definitely perceive it to be something. Like you can tell from the authenticity of the delivery if it is. And sometimes it could be performed by Americans or performed by people that are aspiring to be Americans because there's a highly aspirational quality to it. I mean, there's some really remarkably American music being made outside the Americas, but that to me is more, that says that it is this thing that you can aspire to do. You don't have to be born here to do it.
Something I think about a lot is I look at that DNA chart and how much of my ancestry is not European, and yet I only speak two European languages. I don't speak any African languages. I don't speak any indigenous languages. I speak English and Spanish. And there's been this, in our education, we have been told that those languages are more important. And then when you look at music, it's the same thing. The traditions, you're like, I don't want to play this. Whatever you're trying to teach me, I don't want to play it. I want to play these other languages. And they say, no, less important. Mm-hmm. And that's what you're saying with hip hop. You're saying hip hop music, some people say that's a less important language. And that comes from bad education. It becomes maybe there's some darkness to where some of that oppression comes from. But I think we got to shake it free. Because the languages that your dad spoke, the musical languages that Al Green spoke, the ones that you speak, to me they might be more important than any European language. Maybe it's not my job to pick, but they sure as hell are not less important. And I'm tired of them being treated as they're less important languages.
Exactly. It's a really strange time, and I think music is the key to all of it, because I think it's the only thing that's going to help us out of this situation, really.
I think so too, and that's why I'm doing this, because we need healing right now, and music has music helped me connect to an identity as an immigrant and feeling disconnected from. I grew up in Kansas City, and there's a jazz and blues history there. I felt like it wasn't mine to participate in, and then I start figuring out, wait a second, actually those rhythms and a lot of that like DNA came up through the Caribbean, through New Orleans.
Yeah, absolutely.
And when I heard Jelly Roll, like Morton's, like Alan Lomax recording, he's like, you can't play the blues without the Spanish tinge. He's talking about the Cuban groove. That in that moment I was like, holy, this is all connected, and I've just been taught that it's not, or I feel like it's not. And once I like absorbed that, I felt more at peace with myself.
We're all connected. We're more alike than we are different. So we just got to stop. We should embrace our differences, and instead of fighting over them or alienating people. We should. Yeah, you're different than me. That's awesome. Like, if we were all one thing, then it'd be a very boring place.
Boring. Yeah, not nearly as beautiful as it is, the beauty that we see. And this place was that. Even, the fact that your dad worked with a Klansman, but was able to work with him because of music, shows the profound power
of music.
Yes.
So this is a song I worked so hard on of my Big Daddies that I worked so hard on. The rhythm is so crazy. But anyway, you'll see what I'm talking about. Before he starts.
There was Adam, happy man could be. These I met in that old lap tree, they're just like a woman. They're just like a woman. They're just like a woman, they'll do it every time. That song right there, of course, it's called "That's Just Like a Woman." But man, that groove right there is something I used to love to hear my Big Daddy play. It just did something to me. Energy came over me. I was like, wow, man, where the hell is that rhythm coming from?
I know.
It's like, where is that coming from? And I was like, wow. I would ask my Big Dad, I was like, that rhythm, like, what is that? And he was like, that's me, son. And a lot of his music, has rhythm like that, in sort of a different way, but still a crazy, unorthodox rhythm. And I would see people dance to that song, and I wouldn't know what rhythm they were dancing to, because it would be some crazy rhythm they dancing to, I was like, I don't think you dancing to the song, but I understand, because their rhythm is so crazy,
I'll just try something though, just for our own experiment. Can you loop that rhythm? Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah.
Can you just keep doing that
Okay.
for a second? I want to try something.
I hear ya.
love this, man. I love this. This is so cool, man.
Yeah.
I feel what you're talking about. I really feel it, man. My body just want to groove.
When
you know?
I hear you play that groove, the same thing happens to me.
Wow.
Oh, I'm in it.
It's like all the cells in the brain, like, oh man, what is that, man? Oh, wow. Yeah, I feel you.
In this time where we're seeing a new wave of folks that seem to have forgotten the history of what has actually happened in this nation and where we all come from and what makes us, this idea of what makes us American has become weaponized. White supremacy is on a new rise.
Yeah. Well, I have to say, man, I'm not the one to talk politics, and I never wanted, in my life to talk politics. I feel like where we at right now, like we should be way ahead, but I feel like instead of us being way ahead, we've been set back 50, 60 years, and because the things that happened, 50, 60 years ago, it's happening now, and so it's like it never stopped, and it makes you think, is it ever going to stop?
It's a fear I have. It's a fear that honestly keeps me up at night sometimes. That thought of like, is this ever going to stop? And I think that's what draws me to keep working hard at music, because like we just felt, music reminds us that the Cuban guys who speak Spanish and the people in the hill country share some common DNA.
I would definitely say, for one, things will get better. I have to say that to the young people, things will get better. But I also would say, to the young people that love music, that, so passionate about music and that want this music, don't stop. Don't stop playing this music because the world is crazy. Because right now is when people need this music. I would definitely say that to all the younger generations out there that's interested in music, that's so passionate about music right now, because it's easy right now to just say, man, forget it. It's so easy right now to say that, and that's what we don't need to do.
That's right.
Yeah.
I've been a fan. I watched those videos when you were a kid. I didn't realize you were 13. You played your ass off when you were 13.
Well, thank you, man.
So this is like a delight and a dream come true, and hopefully the beginning of many other things.
I have to add this, man. This has been one of the most beautiful things that I have done, in my lifetime. And, I'm not blowing smoke up nobody's ass, but this right here is freaking cool. The world need to know this. The world need to see this, and especially the younger generation, they need to see this. They need to have conversations like this at home, in their front room. You know what I'm saying? They need to get together outside, wear your mask, but go to the park, have conversations like this. Bring your instruments. Just do what your heart is telling you to do. This is beautiful. Thank y'all for having me, man.
Oh man, thank you.
Like, for real.
And what you're saying is do what humans have done for thousands of years.
Thousands of years.
To get through hard times.
Yeah. And don't let nothing stop you from doing it. Especially now.
Man.
Especially now.
Well, that was a blast. Hope you all enjoyed the music, the conversations. We may not have answered the question, what is American music? But I do know this, that by asking that question and by investigating where we come from, you start to see similarities. Like the drum culture in the Congos of Panama starts to feel not so distant from the rural cultures that form the blues and gospel and jazz. And that makes me think about the reality that there's so much that unites us. And when you really focus on that, it becomes harder and harder to understand or to be complacent about racism. That's what Americana TV is all about, and we're grateful that you've been on this journey with us. We'll see you all next time.
I wrote a song about separation at the border. Every time I perform it, I get like nervous how like the crowd is gonna react about it. So like, what are some tips to get over that fear?
If it means that much to you, you just do it. But if you reach just one person, you've already done your job. So don't be afraid.
I've always known that Isabel loves to sing. As she joined the mentorship program, she started singing in front of audiences.
Papa, just hold on tight.
I remember she was up in her room writing real late at night. Then she walked into my room and sang Papa for the first time. Sorry.
Papa, just hold on tight.
If you'd like to help us on our journey of empowering young artists like Bella, please visit us at artistmentorship.org.
I didn't really like singing out loud in front of people. I grew confidence to show myself and just let it out.